And welcome to week 8. This is our final week of EDUC 539, and it is also the final module that we will be introduced in this for this semester. So the module revolves around creating effective literacy environments and then motivating and effective literacy classrooms. So during this week, you're going to focus on how to create an environment to carry out effective literacy instruction. In this kind of work, in our profession, collaboration is key. In special education, it is so important that our work is not done in isolation, but that we are aligning with what is happening in the general ed curriculum as well. So it is hard work, but it's extremely valuable. So aligning with what your students are doing in the classroom and then what you're doing in either a pull-out setting or a push-in setting is so incredibly important. If you think about as a child how confusing it could be, many of our students that are pulled out, I've seen students that were literally in the classroom, the general ed setting, for 6 minutes of instructional time a day. The rest of the time they were being pulled and doing different things. That's an extreme case. However, that extreme case, think about what kind of learning is happening in all of the different environments that student is learning in, and how important it is to be aligned, that all of our arrows are going in the same direction, our language is the same, because it can be extremely confusing for anybody, not to mention a student that has a disability. So just keep that in mind when you're thinking about effective literacy environments and collaboration, because consistency is definitely key. Our objectives, readings, and resources for this week are objectives are you're going to create a school-wide literacy action plan that focuses on creating a literate and motivating environment, and it will support students and colleagues in designing material that matches students' reading levels and interests, cultural and linguistic backgrounds. You're going to synthesize newly learned material with course learnings to develop a learning environment that focuses on engagement, self-efficacy in readers, develops independent reading, and uses a variety of strategies. So those are our learning objectives this week. There are no textbook readings, but however, I do encourage you to always dig back into the continuum as you're thinking about students throughout, and especially with your practicum student at this time. So, online readings. There's a couple different online readings that you'll do and look at, and then a YouTube video that you'll be watching. So then there's a Tegrity session, which is 604 Best Practices in Reading Instruction. All of these are meant to help you put together these final assessments and really understand the need for that engaging and motivating literacy environment. So I'm going to go back and show those assignments going right over here. So what is due at the end of this week and the end of the semester? The first thing is that 10-hour practicum. So in this 10-hour practicum, you're going to, again, conduct those first few hours with the assessments, and at this point you should be done with those. And then you're turning in a journal that will be a short little lesson plan based on what you noticed from the previous lesson or the assessments that you gave, and then a reflection statement at the end of each journal that kind of reflects on how your session went. What do you think you need to do next? Where's the child at? What are you seeing growth? Are you, do you need to switch your teaching up, or any kind of reflection statement that you want to include? So the second assignment that's due this week is the action plan. In a document, complete the action plan template, and this is from Appendix 3 out of Identifying School-Wide Literacy Initiatives. So within that PowerPoint that you looked at, you're going to complete the action plan template based on, you don't have to include a lot of strategies, maybe 2 or 3 strategies, and then how are you going to get to those using the template that's on that within that PowerPoint. It's not a very large assignment, and honestly, I'd like to see you spend more time on your final assessment for this week than on this one, but I would like to see your thinking around how you could incorporate these kind of things into a school-wide action plan. So the final assignment is this reflection presentation. This is a culmination of really everything you've done throughout the semester as well, but you're reviewing your notes from readings and videos in the course, and then papers and discussions that you've had throughout the course, and then develop a presentation that highlights and synthesizes the best practices for a self-chosen grade level. So you may want to use bullet points with descriptors for each of the following sections, or however really you want to present it though. Create and maintaining a motivating classroom and school environment for literacy development for all students. You're going to cover that. You're going to cover development of independent reading and self-efficacy in students. 3 is sources for book choices for your chosen grade level across genres, reading levels, cultural linguistic groups, and student interests. And then finally, you want to include development of a home reading program by students and by parents or guardians. Your video should be 8 to 10 minutes on a VoiceThread presentation. There's a link to that underneath right here. And then you're going to upload that PowerPoint into the VoiceThread, or whatever you created into that VoiceThread, and record your video of yourself using the VoiceThread. You will need to comment on at least 2 other students' presentations. So, with that being part of this assignment, your presentation is due Friday by 11:59 p.m. Then your comments are due on that Sunday at 11:59 p.m. by 11:59 p.m. So you do have the main presentation has to be done by Friday in order to support your community in their learning, so they can watch your video as well. And you'll need to watch 2 other students' presentations and make those comments. That is it for our course. I'd like to leave you with thinking around the learner and the learnings, and how acceleration is key for special ed. We want to keep our kids not have our kids for very long. We want to get them accelerated, grow them, and get them back into the classroom as soon as possible. Ideally, that's most important for our students. And then just think around using your community that you've created here as a resource, and networking and knowing people so you can continue to branch out and be constant learners. I'd like you to think about that video we watched at the very beginning of the semester on mindset, and really think again about you and reflect on where your mindset is and how that might influence your students as well. So I hope you had a great semester, and please fill out the instructor and course evaluation that comes. It's really important as we develop our courses and I continue to grow as an instructor that we get feedback from our students so that we know where we can grow as well. So thanks so much.